Say record? Okay, thank you. Mr. Msindisi, sir. Okay, we had spoken about this platform that we want to create about conversations that society avoids, that they call taboo. Okay, now I just wanted to, now that it's going to be a bit sensitive because the lady is running our video, but let's just talk about it. There are issues that affect women that we know, all of us, that women are protected by systems, they're protected even by God himself, but there is no voice for men. In terms of them being vulnerable and being attacked. And yes, there are men who are denting or tarnishing the image of men, and there's a generalization. There's a tendency for people to generalize that every man is abusive or wicked. But those men who are victimized by women, what's your take on that? The fact that there are men who are victimized by women. Who do you think should protect them or speak for them, or what should happen to solve that problem?
All right, well, Pastor, it's not a question of who should protect them and whatever. Like you're saying that this is one of the taboo things, one of the things that we as society do not feel comfortable when it comes to discussing. There are many factors that feed into that. Firstly, we live in a patriarchal, whatever way one wants to pronounce the term, in a patriarchal society, where men, because of their masculinity, because of their physical appearance, how we are biologically built, society expects us to be more powerful. In fact, physically we are built to be more powerful than physically than women.
Yeah.
And now, history will teach us from the onset, from creation, if you want to look at the religious way, right. From whatever, even when it comes to science, that male have always been dominant. Mm-hmm. Now it is very shameful, or it's perceived to be very shameful, and it's very unusual when you find a male being exchanging positions when it comes to the question of being a victim and being a perpetrator.
Can I just interject while you're on that point? There are certain crimes that are committed by women which are not deemed as a crime. Okay? And
such as?
Okay, now, the fact that in terms of masculinity, I acknowledge what you just said, the statement you just made just now. But in terms of crimes like what we call in Africa, Korobela, okay, that I see that as a crime because there are men who are victims of the voodoo that is practiced by women to put the men under a spell. And women get away with it in order to control a man. That is wrong. What is your take on that?
Well, I think that's a valid conversation, but a conversation that is way independent, a conversation that we need to have on its own.
Sure.
Because you're saying that there are acts or criminal acts that are done by females.
Sure.
And your typical example is the usage of what is deemed as black magic.
Sure.
There's no court. If there are courts, there are very little records.
Sure.
Where whatever matter was taken before a court of law with regards to the usage of black magic or witchcraft or whatever.
Sure.
Up until now, Western laws have not come up with a set of standard or rules how to govern such things. Now, when we are looking at the cultural perspective or cultural whatever, yes, we know what these things are done. And yes, we know why these things are done.
Sure.
And culturally, men do know how to get rid of these things.
Sure.
Even though the person who's under the spell would not recognize or see that I'm under a spell, but it's probably, most of the time, it's his family or people around him that would say, hey man, there's something wrong here.
In most cases, he would defend his wife. He would say, what are you talking about? As if he's enjoying the thing.
That's when the family comes in.
Sure.
Unfortunately, there's someone there.
Sure. It's okay? Yeah, please do come in. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nkosi.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. I'm sorry, I cannot know your name.
Yes, ma'am.
When should I be ready?
Yeah, we will come and call.
Are you going to take a video?
No, it's okay. Don't worry about that. No, ignore that. It's okay, ma'am. You can just finish this one. Then we'll
Can I read it to you now? I think.
No, read it to yourself. We're going to take you upstairs for for us to first listen to you and then record you, then edit it later stage.
But can I just read?
Okay, no, we'll call you now. Let's just finish this, then we'll.
Oh,
come
you're still
to-
busy
yes,
right now.
yes.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you. Yes, sir. It's interesting what you just said in terms of how women would then say, justify the practice
Oh, by
of this
the
black
way,
magic.
Pastor, it's not only women that use such.
Sure. Even men do it.
Even men do it. Yeah, even men do it. But you can carry on.
Yeah. Women would justify the use of voodoo or black magic to say that men, because of the level of abuse that they are subjected to by men, therefore they're taming the beast in the man. What is your take on men being perceived as dogs in the South African context? Because of their behavior, of course, as I indicated earlier, that there are those men, there are elements, men who misrepresent other men, and now that group or percentage of men who are embroiled in this whole thing, because it seems that society now looks at every man, and as a result, there is no protection for every man, because even systems of government are not sensitive to men. Men who go and report an offense to the law enforcement, or committed by a woman, it becomes a laughing stock. And where is the protection of a man in our society if men are treated such and there is no protection?
By the way, our laws, South African laws do protect men from whatever kind of criminality or abuse, just like women. Even though one would argue that when it comes to human rights or whatever, women and children enjoy more rights than
They enjoy more rights.
Yes.
There you go.
They enjoy more rights because why? They are more vulnerable to whatever crimes or whatever abuse than us men. 80% of the times or 90% of the times, perpetrators of crime are men. You can't run away from that.
Sure.
This goes back to your initial questions, which is what is my view on the perception that men are dog. It is because of the behavior that is perpetuated by the very same men that resembles that of a dog.
Sure. And that misrepresent, unfortunately, every man.
Not every man is like that.
Sure, but they misrepresent
the handful. Unfortunately, we have to suffer the domino effect here.
Then how do we cater, or how do we then, what protection do we provide to those men who are now subjected or seen in the same light as those men who are misrepresenting them?
There's no I don't know what to say, like an umbrella approach to this thing.
Sure.
What protects you or your dignity as a man are your actions.
Yeah.
How one handles or conducts himself. That's how you set yourself apart from the rest of the men. That's how you as a person avoid being called a dog. It's because of your actions.
Just on that note, now, say, as I said earlier, that there are certain criminal activities that are committed by women, and they get away with them because they're women. So what if the man is a victim in a situation where a woman...
Criminal offenses such as?
Well, I mentioned Korobela first, which is the black magic, and that's a crime as far as I'm concerned. Of course, there's no charge for it. There are crimes like that are committed by women. There are men who are walking around. I've seen a couple of them walking here in the NCC building.
Problem with
I'm joking about that, but yeah, I think we should have such conversations and and hope.
This was just a test run.
Yeah, sure.
Because I was not
Yeah,
ready for these questions a few years past.
Yeah.
So
Please,
how far?
switch off now, go.
Yeah, we can take.
Yeah, just switch it off so we can be able to.
Okay.